We have reached the conclusion of my top 10 at each position video, and obviously, today, we're doing the center position. Let's just get right into it. Hello everyone and welcome back to Step Back with Zach, and in today's video, I will be going over my top 10 centers in the NBA this season. Before we go any further, please don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It's my goal to hit 150 subscribers, so your subscription would be greatly appreciated. And if you don't subscribe, neither side of your pillow is going to be cold tonight. So hold that. Before we get started, I do want to mention that it was a little bit tricky to rank some of these centers, so a lot of you probably aren't going to agree with where some of these dudes are ranked, but that's fine. This is my list, not yours. And if you get mad about it, make your own goddamn list. I don't care. So, starting with the honorable mentions, just like always, we have three. My first one is Ivica Zubac of the Indiana Pacers, which still sounds weird to say. He's averaging 14 points per game along with 11 rebounds on 60% from the field, and he just this season has not been as good overall as he was last year. He's still a good drop defender, he's still going to get a lot of rebounds, he's still a decent rim defender. However, he has dealt with a lot of injuries this season, and ultimately that is kind of what has held me back from putting him in the top 10. But if you want to have him top 10, absolutely sure, I do not mind. Next up, we have Onyeka Okongwu of the Atlanta Hawks. Now, this was someone I was very heavily considering putting in the top 10, but it just comes down to the fact that his team is actually better when he doesn't play, statistically. But he is averaging 15.5 points per game on career volume. He is shooting way better from three on almost 38% on 5 attempts a game. So shout out to him for just doing that. That's really great. He is undersized as well, so he's been able to do quite a lot with that. And lastly, I want to mention a guy who is definitely going to be on this list one day. We have Alex Sarr of the Washington Wizards. Alex Sarr has improved drastically since his rookie season. He's averaging 16.5 points per game along with 7 boards and 2 blocks a night while shooting 9% better from the field than he did last season. And he is already one of the best rim protectors in the NBA and will be for many years to come. Shout out Alex Sarr. One day you will be on this list, I promise. Now, getting started in the number 10 spot, this one might be a little bit surprising, but I have Isaiah Hartenstein of the OKC Thunder. Now, bit of a surprise, I'm sure, for a lot of you. However, he is averaging 9 points per game along with 9.5 rebounds, which is good for 9th in the NBA, along with 4 assists on 63% true shooting. He's dealt with a lot of injuries this season. He's missed quite a significant amount of time, but why I have him here is that he is just so damn important for the OKC Thunder. It is no coincidence that they got drastically better when they signed him. The Thunder are overall 4.6 points better per 100 possessions with him playing, and he has a 103.3 defensive rating, which would make him 3rd in the NBA if he qualified. He's also an absolutely elite playmaker at the center position. He's 7th amongst all centers in assists. He also has this really insane lob connection with Chet Holmgren, where he's always able to just either, like I said, put up the lob or throw those little slip passes into a cutting Chet or a cutting other player, and he's just got really great vision. Per 36, he averages 14 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 assists. And I want you to keep in mind, he's only playing 25 minutes per game this season. Shout out to Isaiah Hartenstein. He's in at number 10. Next up, we jump a bit here into the next tier of center. We have Jarrett Allen of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, to start the season, Jarrett Allen probably wouldn't have made this list if I'm being completely honest, but his recent tier has been really, really solid. Now, he has missed the last however many games due to an injury, but since the James Harden trade, he's actually been really, really solid. He's averaging 15 points per game on the year, along with 8.5 boards and 2 assists on a very impressive 67% true shooting. He's always going to be up there in terms of the league leaders of true shooting percentage. But like I said, did start the season slowly. However, since the James Harden trade, he has been way better. Before Harden got there, he was averaging 14 points per game on 60.5% field goal shooting, which is not bad, but it's like, sure, whatever. But post Harden trade, 20 points per game on a wild 73.1% field goal shooting. His confidence is looking way better as well, which is such a welcome thing for the Cleveland Cavaliers, which is allowing him to shoot 68.6% from less than 10 feet from the basket this year. The Cavs are +4 on offense when he is on the court, and this is heavily due to the fact that him and James Harden have become one of the best pick and roll duos in the entire NBA. And because of all his incredible play, he's really boosting up his trade value. He's also been holding his own on the defensive end. I mean, he's not as good as Evan Mobley, but Mobley's one of the best defenders in the entire NBA, so that's completely fine, but the Fro is really holding his own down low. He is holding opposing players to 8% worse than their average field goal shooting at the rim, which is 88th percentile. So, underrated defender. Shout out Jarrett Allen. He's at number 9. Next up in the number 8 spot, as much as I hate it, I have Rudy Gobert of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Rudy Gobert is averaging 11 points per game, which is actually one of the lowest of his entire career, along with 11.5 rebounds, which is 4th in the entire NBA, to go along with 1.6 blocks per night, which is 6th in the entire NBA, on 67.4% true shooting, which is 10th. Of course, he's going to have a high true shooting percentage. He doesn't shoot from anywhere outside of directly under the basket. Although Rudy Gobert is probably the worst offensive player in the entire NBA, I will admit his defense is still absolutely elite. When he is on the court, the Minnesota Timberwolves are 9 points better on defense compared to when he is off. He is holding opposing players to 9% below their average field goal percentage at the rim, which is 90th percentile. He's also someone that defenders will try to actively avoid because he's got that incredible 7'9" wingspan to go along with a 7'1" frame. But ultimately, I still just don't think Rudy Gobert is someone you want on your NBA team. He's getting up there in age. He's approaching his mid-30s. I don't like Rudy Gobert, man. Y'all know that. But I will give him his props. And there's not really much else to say apart from the fact that he's still an elite defender. Rudy Gobert, number 8. And again, another player I don't like is here at number 7, and I did try to push this guy as far back as possible because I think he's one of the most overrated players in the entire association. I have Alperen Sengun of the Houston Rockets. Alperen Sengun has overtaken Rudy Gobert as my least favorite player in the NBA. He is averaging 20 points per game on the season to go along with 9 rebounds and 6 assists, with 3.3 turnovers per game, which is the 8th most in the NBA, on a below average true shooting percentage of 56%. Now, before I get into bashing Sengun, I will credit his playmaking jump. He has stepped up an incredible amount considering the Houston Rockets don't have a true point guard because Fred VanVleet's injured and their other point guards are just not good enough, and he's got a decent handle for his size. However, he sucks at defense. He has a 114 defensive rating, which on paper you probably think that's actually not that bad, but keep in mind, that is the second worst on the entire Houston Rockets, only in front of Jeff Green, who plays garbage time minutes. And the Houston Rockets have a 112.3 defensive rating in general, which is like 8th. So if Sengun wasn't surrounded by the likes of Tari Eason and Amen Thompson and Kevin Durant, that defensive rating would be way worse. And because of this, teams are just not scared to contest him at the rim. He has to defend a lot of shots at the rim. He is in the 88th percentile in terms of contested shots at the rim. And the Rockets are also just ultimately 8 points. Yes, 8 points better defensively without Sengun on the court. His offensive game is also where I think he has become super overrated. Whenever he has the ball, the offense sticks, it doesn't move anywhere, he'll end up just trying to back down the opposing big man for 10 bloody seconds in the shot clock, and then he'll just throw up a hook shot that actually never goes in. He shoots 49% from 3 to 10 feet, and as he shoots from further and further out, this percentage only continues to dwindle. And like I just mentioned, the shot that he loves most using, the hook shot, he's shooting less than 50% on those shots specifically. I really do not like Sengun, but I mean, yeah, he is better than other centers, but in terms of what people think he is or what he thinks he is, he's definitely not that good. So yeah, Sengun in at 7. Next up, we have Karl Anthony-Towns of the New York Knicks at the number 6 spot. Now, Cat is having a down year. I've talked a lot about Karl Anthony-Towns, so I'm not going to talk too much about him, but he's averaging 20 points per game to go along with 12 rebounds, which is second in the NBA, only behind Nikola Jokic, on 61.4% true shooting, so this has picked up. And speaking of that, he has picked it up since the bad start to the season. Now, you can say that he's still getting accustomed to the Mike Brown offense, but we're almost in the playoffs now. It's almost been a full regular season of Karl Anthony-Towns and the Mike Brown offense, and he still quite hasn't figured it out. But the Knicks are 5 points better when he is on the court. Karl Anthony-Towns also leads the NBA in double-doubles this season while being one of the best rebounders across the NBA. And in my opinion, I just think Cat is poised to have a hot streak at some point. And I genuinely believe he will really ramp it up heading into the playoffs. I'm talking about his offense, because someone of his caliber cannot be struggling this much for this long. Like, this is insane. But yep, Karl Anthony-Towns in at number 6. Next up, in at the number 5 position, I have Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat. Now, Bam Adebayo is having a pretty interesting season, to say the least. He's averaging 20.4 points per game, which is tied for a career high for him, to go along with 10 rebounds and 3 assists with just shy of 2 stocks per game. He is one of the best defensive players in the NBA. And one of the most versatile defensive players in the NBA, where he can genuinely guard 1 through 5. He has a 109.3 defensive rating, and this is actually really, really solid considering that he plays with some pretty poor defenders. And he just has an overall net rating of 7.5. He is the leader and the defensive leader of the 6th best defense in the NBA. Yeah. The 6th best. Now, what also sucks for Bam is I don't think he'll ever win a Defensive Player of the Year award, but he will always be one of the most impactful defenders in the NBA. And this is going to be even harder for him when you've got players like Wemby and Chet out there. And his defensive numbers on the box score are not going to jump out at you. Like, he's not going to average 2.5 blocks per game. He's not going to average 2 steals per game. But his defense is always felt. The Heat are, in general, 10.6 points better when he is on the court compared to when he isn't. And although his field goal percentage is down this year compared to last season, it is because he's shooting a lot more threes, where he has doubled his attempts from last season. Oh, yeah, and the dude dropped like 83 points or something in an NBA game, which is wild. Still, I still can't believe that Bam Adebayo now has the 2nd most points scored in a single NBA game. What the hell? But anyway, shout out to Bam Adebayo. He's in at number 5. Now, next up, this one might be a little bit controversial, but I have Joel Embiid of the Philadelphia 76ers in at number 4. Now, Joel Embiid has only played 33 games this season, but he has been actually really good. The 76ers are 21-12 with him playing. He's averaging 27 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, and 4 assists on 61% true shooting in 31 minutes per game. Now, he's obviously not the player that he was when he was in contention for MVPs, but he's still super duper impactful. The Philadelphia 76ers are a little over 7 points better per 100 possessions when he is on the court. Now, he did start the season pretty slowly. I made a TikTok where he had an absolute terrible game against the Chicago Bulls earlier in the year, where I said that he sucked and he was trash and he just needs to take a back seat. However, since around the middle of December, the 12th of December to be exact, he is averaging 30 points per game on 52% field goal shooting, while also taking around 10 free throws per game. And he has a 119 offensive rating this year, which is very similar to his MVP season. So Joel Embiid, if only he can stay healthy and stay out there and get some consistent burn, he could still average a lot of points per game. He's also been pretty decent from mid-range. He's shooting 52% from 10 to 16 feet. And here's a crazy stat. Per 100 possessions this season, from his gravity alone, he creates 9 open shots for his teammates, which is in the 94th percentile. That is crazy, just because of the fear of what Joel Embiid can do. He's also been a pretty decent defender this season. He is holding his opponents to 4.2% below their average field goal shooting at the rim. So shout out Joel Embiid, he's at number 4. Now, next up in my number 3 spot, I have a man that is heavily in contention for the Most Improved Player award. I have Jalen Duren of the Detroit Pistons. Jalen Duren is having a career year. He's averaging 19 points per game to go along with 10.5 rebounds, which is 6th in the NBA, while also being 4th in offensive rebounds per game on 67.6% true shooting, which is 9th across the entire association. He has a 120 offensive rating and a 108 defensive rating for an overall net rating of 12, which is 5th in the NBA. Him and Cade together are an absolutely incredible duo, especially in the pick and roll. They are 12 points per 100 possessions better than their opponent when those two are on the court together. And he's just really, really good at fitting alongside all of his other teammates. Every pairing results in positive points per 100 possessions compared to their opponents. And the Pistons in general are 7 points better with him on the court. He is shooting 74% at the rim and 56% from 3 to 10 feet. He's also been commonly looked at as not a great defender, but this season, he's also actually been underrated as a defender in my opinion. He is holding opponents to 5.2% below their average field goal percentage at the rim this year. I really like Jalen Duren. He's scrappy. He's not afraid of anybody. He's a big dude. He's strong as a bloody ox. But this might be a little bit high for him, but I don't care. Jalen Duren is one of my favorite players in the league. Shout out to him. First-time All-Star for a reason this year. Now, next up, these next two, we take an absolutely insane and massive jump in terms of just how good they are amongst the rest. In at number 2, I have my favorite player in the NBA, Victor Wembanyama of the San Antonio Spurs. Victor Wembanyama is averaging 24 points per game to go along with 11 rebounds, which is 5th in the NBA, as well as being 2nd in defensive rebounds per game. He's also averaging 3 assists to go along with 1 steal and 3 blocks. 3 blocks is 1st per game, and he's also 1st in total blocks, where he has 34 more blocks this season than 2nd place Jay Huff, who has played 15 more games than Wemby. What? And he's doing all this on 62.1% true shooting. He is, without a doubt, the best defender in the NBA. And in my opinion, he is the best defender I have ever watched. I started watching the NBA in 2014. Keep that in mind. He is putting up some absolutely historic defensive numbers. He's got a 103.6 defensive rating this year, which is good for 3rd. When he is off the court, the Spurs are 10 points worse on defense, showing his impact. He holds opposing players to 8.7% below their average field goal percentage from any spot on the floor, not just at the rim, from literally anywhere. That number is insane, and I don't think I've ever seen anything like it before. And speaking of defense at the rim, he is holding opposing players to 10% below their average field goal percentage there, which is in the 92nd percentile. He's also averaging 3.7 deflections per game, which is 8th, and he leads the NBA in stocks per game and total stocks as well. Keep in mind, stocks are combined steals and blocks. He just takes up so much space on the court. I mean, when you're 7'4", I believe he's like 7'5", with an 8-foot wingspan, this is not really surprising, and he fully takes away paint shots from his opponents. Now, something that also really does just stand out, speaking of that, is that he is only in the 83rd percentile of shots contested at the rim. Now, why is this? Oh yeah, it might be because no one ever challenges him there because they know they're going to get their shit absolutely packed. Victor Wembanyama is just probably the scariest player anybody has to go up against in the NBA, specifically because of the fact that he just towers over everybody else and he will block your shot. And because of all of this, he is statistically the most impactful and valuable player to their team. He is 1st in net rating at 16.4, which is 1.5 above 2nd place SGA. His offense has also been super special as well. He's shooting 76.2% at the rim and 66.3% from 3 to 10 feet. He's easily the best lob finisher in the NBA, surely because of his size. He's also improved his post work incredibly, and he's attacking the rim a lot more, shooting a lot less threes than he did last season, although he is starting to shoot more and more, which is fine, whatever. He's probably just saving himself a little bit for the playoffs. And his handles improved a lot as well. His turnovers have dropped since the start of the season, which is really good. Oh yeah, and all of this is in less than 30 minutes per game. I talk about Victor Wembanyama a lot. You guys know how much I love him if you're a consistent viewer. So I'm not going to talk about him any further, but Victor Wembanyama, my GOAT, number 2. Now, number 1, to nobody's surprise, is Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets. Jokic is still debatably the best offensive player in the NBA. He's averaging 28 points per game, which is 8th, 13 rebounds, which is 1st, and 11 assists, which is also 1st. on a wild 67.6% true shooting. Keep in mind, those stats were all rounded. He is leading the NBA in triple-doubles this season, which is not surprising, and he's second in double-doubles, only behind Karl Anthony-Towns. He is first as well in offensive load, meaning that exactly what that means. He's got the most offensive workload in the NBA. And because of this, and because of how insane of a playmaker he is first in number of open shots generated per 100 possessions for his teammates at 20. 20 per 100 possessions. That is a wild number. He also has a 125 offensive rating with a net rating of 10.4. The Nuggets are 13.8 points per 100 possessions better when he is on the court. Now, since returning from his injury, he's not playing the best. His numbers are down everywhere, and he is averaging a lot of turnovers, 4.4 to be exact, but he's still averaging a triple-double. He had 10 turnovers in a loss to the Memphis Grizzlies. Yeah, the Grizzlies of all teams, 10 turnovers in a loss. But ultimately, you just cannot disrespect Jokic. I'm seeing people have him out of their top 3 players in the NBA. I love Victor Wembanyama more than probably anybody. I glaze that dude so much. But even I still don't think that Wemby is better than Jokic. Will he be better? Yeah, he will be, but not right now. If you want to have Jokic as your second best player in the NBA, sure, absolutely. That's cool, behind SGA. But please, for the love of God, do not let recency bias fool you. Jokic is still a top 2 player in the NBA. But I mean, I don't really need to talk about Jokic too much. He's been the best offensive player in the NBA for like 5 years now. So yeah, shout out to Nikola Jokic. He's still the best center in the NBA. And Victor Wembanyama is really his only competition. But that will be all from me for my final rankings of my top players at each position. Let me know if you guys agree with this list. Let me know who you would change. Let me know if I overlooked anybody, because I probably did. But like I said in the intro, please don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.